due to concerns for public health and safety, I move to recess and reconvene 4:00 p.m. today, August 4th, in virtual form only, continuing to use the Zoom meeting information available in this special session's agenda and packet.
Second.
Boo! Thank you. It's properly moved and second. Do we have any debate or comment from Councilman Flaherty?
Yes, so this motion is debatable and amendable and requires a majority to pass. I've prepared a few sentences by way of explanation. I think a lot of folks know, in Monroe County, we have COVID-19 vaccination rates of just above 50%. Both cases of COVID-19 and hospitalizations from COVID-19 have been steadily on the rise over the last month. Additionally, the Delta variant of the novel coronavirus is highly contagious and is now responsible for the strong majority of cases in Indiana. For all these reasons, my view is that hosting a potentially large in-person gathering in City Hall, even with safety protocols in place, is not in the best interest of public health and safety of our community at this time. That said, I feel very badly and apologize for the inconvenience to folks who plan to comment in person today. Unfortunately, due to the uncertainty of whether Governor Hogan would extend the declared state of emergency, and due to the long lead time and relatively significant expense of noticing this public hearing on proposed annexation, as well as how it was originally noticed for a hybrid meeting, it was not a viable option to reschedule the meeting to be virtual prior to this motion today. These factors, along with the trajectory of COVID-19 cases in Monroe County, were largely outside the control of this council, and I apologize that it took a couple days of discussion to reach this approach. If this motion passes, everyone will have the time and opportunity to share their comments in a virtual meeting. And this format, in my view, does not at all diminish the critical importance of this meeting and the info we will receive from the public. We also continue to welcome comments via email or via mail to the council office.
Thank you. Do we have any further comments from any further council members? Do we have anybody online I can't see?
Stand, that's okay.
No, we've got a.
Councilmember Rollo.
Have to find a seat. There's a room capacity.
There was an echo.
Find a seat.
Councilmember Rollo.
Are you hearing an echo?
No.
Okay, good. Well, I agree with my colleague, parliamentarian Flaherty. I think with regard to the motion, the landscape for this pandemic has changed considerably over the last week, 2 weeks or so. Of course, he referred to the new variant, which is now about over 80% of the new cases in the country. I would just add that the variant seems to be able to propagate in people even if they've been vaccinated. That's not to say that the vaccination isn't effective. It's effective in reducing serious illnesses. But we need to be cognizant of the transmission of the virus, and we need to prevent large gatherings like this one from being responsible for further transmission. So I'll be supporting the motion, and that is to say that in the future I wouldn't mind discussing further meetings if we need to have them to extend debate on this topic, to allow people to meet in person if conditions allow it. But today that just seems to be prudent. So I'll be supporting the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Rollo. Councilmember Pete Monson.
Yes, I wanted to address the situation in which
Who's speaking right now? Who's speaking? I can't tell who's speaking.
I am speaking.
Okay.
Sorry.
Raise your hand when you talk or something, because I'm looking at faces. I can't tell who's talking.
I wanted to address the situation in which somebody may not have the technology at home to join or ask questions or give their public comment via Zoom. And I believe the Monroe County Public Library is open until 9 o'clock tonight and does have public computer terminals available. And so I encourage anybody who is unable to participate from home due to technology issues to take advantage of the public resource of our public library. That said, I think we're in a very regrettable situation here because I know there's no real substitute for one-on-one interaction. it's not as powerful to make your comments over Zoom. Then again, we have gotten into the habit of doing public comment over Zoom, and in some senses, we have.
Can't understand you.
Yeah, I agree. I can't make out anything under this smoke and stuff.
All right, well, I'll just cut to the chase that I think it's regrettable, but given the public health situation, I do support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Piedmont Smith. Councilmember Hogan.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the motion where we talked about how this meeting would be structured, I moved for a half-hour recess, which seems to be no longer necessary. If we're going to be meeting online after 4, starting from 4 until, I assume, 9 p.m., is it appropriate for me to move that we remove the recess, or I'm looking for advice from the chair.
Well, I'll let our parliamentarian address it, but what I do think is that will be proper if in fact the motion passes and then we do reconvene as board. And once we reconvene, then your motion is better to be entertained then, if I'm correct. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any more other council comments? Councilmember Sandberg.
Thank you. Given the lateness of this announcement and this possible action, I know we have reserved tomorrow night, Thursday, August the 5th, as a possible overflow night. And I know this can be discussed too once this motion is dispatched. But I think under the circumstances and with all due respect to the public, I would hope that that meeting be also dealt with tonight in terms of announcing it and making sure more of the public knows that this will be continued into another day. I think that is only fair, given what is possible to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Sandberg. Do we have any further comments from the council members? Okay, so,
President Sims?
yes, Councilmember Rowe.
May I ask that if anyone in the audience there has written comments that they'd like to submit to give them to our council attorney, Stephen Lucas, so that he can give copies of those to us.
Okay, thank you, and I believe that was referred to in a notice that we're giving to folks here present. So thank you for that reminder. No, thank you very, very much. Okay, seeing no further comments. What I'd like to say is, in deference to one of my council colleagues, yes, there has been multiple contingency dates discussed should this conversation from the public be needed to continue. We don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know if it'll be done today or if it'll need to be extended to other dates. We do have contingency dates. I do think it's improper, if not unwise, to announce those dates until we get to the end of today's deliberations to see if we in fact will need to schedule those dates. I was asked earlier by someone out in the lobby about their right to speak, and that has never ever been the case. And in fact, I do not believe that that right has been taken away. In order to schedule these meetings, we must do these in advance, and we must properly publicly notice them. When this meeting was noticed, it was noticed prior to the governor extending his emergency health order until the end of this month. But our meeting was scheduled after July 31st, which we anticipated that his health order would be rescinded, but it got extended. So it behooves us, in order to go through this process, I do believe, not only to ensure that the public, as best we can, still have a right to comment, and we give you several options to speak with us, contact our office, and emails, that sort of thing. And I would ask that you please take advantage of that. I would also say that with the extension of the governor's order, with some of the facts that my colleagues have announced with the vaccination rate, the however slight surge of infection rates, and the fact that this variant is more contagious, it is more unpredictable than the initial.
It's less deadly.
That's my understanding. So I, as president of this council, and if it's the will of my colleagues, then this motion will pass. If not, then it will fail. But my main concern is that we are considerate and concerned as much as possible for the health and safety of this public. I, as president, am not sure that a public gathering is the best way to go about it. One last thing. I was also asked, why not tell the public earlier? And I hope that is not an insinuation that this was something we knew a week ago and just sprung it on people today. This has been an ongoing conversation with our council staff, with some of our colleagues on some of these concerns. There are legal considerations with regard to noticing and how we conduct business. So all of those things have to be taken into account. This possible action brought on by this motion, I feel, is the most middle road approach between taking care of council business, receiving public comment, and being as pragmatic as possible about this community's health and safety with regard to gathering in a public meeting.
We're
So,
in the room
thank you
already, what
very
difference
much.
does it make?
Mr. President,
Yes, Councilmember Bowman.
I would like to ask a brief question. I see 20 people in attendance in the room. Can I ask how many people are attending at the moment online besides the members who are obligated to be here?
There are currently 138 participants on Zoom. That includes council members, city staff. That's 139.
Okay, so including everybody, there's more than 100 people attending via Zoom. Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you very much. Good question, and I will say that those folks that are on Zoom, of course, if this motion passes, we will reconvene at the time that's announced. I believe it's 4 p.m. And we're also, people that are present have been asked to sign in on the sheet that we have out front, and they will be in the queue to speak in the order in which they signed that, should this motion pass to reconvene. So again, it's unfortunate, it's not ideal, but to the best of our ability, we think this is the best and middle road to again take care of business. So seeing no further council comment, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion on the floor?
Councilmember Rallo,
Yes.
Wolin,
Yes.
Rosenbarger. Yes. Gambalori. Yes. Sims,
Yes.
Flaherty,
Yes.
Stephen Smith. Yes. Smith
Yes.
and Sandberg.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 9-0.
Surprise, surprise.
We will recess and we will reconvene at 4 p.m. on the Zoom link that is has been illustrated, for lack of a better term. And at that point, we will continue with the agenda of today's special session. Thank you very much. See you in about 43 minutes or so.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, you guys got it down to a science, don't you? I mean, you had to have some kind of meeting to conform to this meeting, like plan. Boy, I tell you, it's dirty rotten stuff here. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, every one of you.